This is Needy and Normal. I'm your host, Ashley Levering, mom, wife, and life coach. After years of coaching and learning from my own life, one thing is clear. Meeting your needs is essential for living your best life. Here, we'll talk about your needs and not only learn to accept them, but also tend to them without guilt. Let's get needy because it's normal. Welcome back to Needy and Normal. I hope wherever you're listening today, you are in good spirits. This episode is all about the behind the scenes for my high achieving clients in what they need when they come to me for coaching. Some of these might surprise you. Some of them may feel so incredibly relatable, and you might find some comfort. Perhaps this is exactly what you need today. I'm going to give you the list of the top reasons why leaders come to me. Now, I suppose you can call this a hidden talent, but one of the things I am good at is treating people like people, no matter their status, no matter their job. I am not easily intimidated. Maybe that's one of the draws for me. I work with a lot of high achieving people and leaders, and one of the things that I get feedback on is that I speak to them like we're equals no matter what, and that they actually like that. Often people who are a high status feel like people are afraid to talk to them, or they aren't authentic with them because they want to look a certain way or come off a certain way. I'm very real. I'm going to be me no matter who you are. And I will treat you with respect no matter who you are. So if you are somebody who thinks lower of yourself, I'm going to help you think higher of yourself by treating you like someone who might run an entire company. I love helping women and men see their potential and grasp their confidence and use their authenticity and their vulnerability to be powerful. And these are things that really help out in coaching. And when people come to me and they discover I'm going to treat you with respect and I'm also going to kick your ass and be kind to you and all those things, I think it's very helpful in my success as a life coach. And yes, I am a life coach, but I cannot tell you how many times I have helped people with their careers specifically. So And I never changed my title of life coach even when I do more career coaching, because your career and your professional life is so much a part of your life and who you are. So I don't believe in changing my title from coach to life coach, career coach. I'm a life coach because I am a whole person approach. That's what I do as a coach. So I will ask you about your family and your personal life. I will ask you about your professional life, and then I will have you guide me as far as where you need help. So when people come to me who are in, like I said, a higher status, higher leadership role professionally, they also feel that pressure in their personal life. And so they come to me trying to wrap their heads around what they're doing, where they're going, how to manage things differently, or coming to terms with desperately wanting to change something, but have been in this go mode and wearing specific hats for so long that making those bigger shifts is really tricky. Often people come to me in higher status situations who are so busy and doing things to fully fill up their time that relationships are tricky, or they're in a relationship that has become not what they signed up for originally, or they're not giving it enough attention because of their high status situation. So a lot of times people come to me for that sheer desire of balance. So I'm going to run through this list. I've collected this over my years of research and working with high achieving people, and like I said, you might be surprised, you might not. This might be exactly what you need to hear, for your own comfort. You might be someone who considers yourself a high achiever, regardless of what you do or where you spend your time or what kind of relationship you're in or what kind of job you're in, you might think, I work really hard at what I do. I work really hard at life. I push myself really hard. And it doesn't matter if you sweep floors or you run a Fortune 500 company. You can be a leader and a high achiever and a confident person or someone that tries really hard no matter what your status is. If you feel like these things connect for you, this is your episode. One of the biggest reasons people come to me who have a lot on their plate, let's put it that way. These are people who have a lot on their plate and feel the desire for more, feel the need to connect deeper to their purpose, or feel the need that things just like really need to change. Okay? So one of the biggest ones that people come to me for is this burnout support. So life's gotten very full, too busy. More and more has been asked of them because they give and give and give. Is this you? So when burnout becomes a possibility, that gets scary. That gets uncomfortable. And it's hard for a high achieving doer to admit to themselves, I need help. I need support. I don't want to do this by myself. So firstly, whenever someone comes to me and says, I'm interested in coaching, I could really use some help, that is so brave for someone who does it all and for someone who people rely on, no matter who you are or what you do or how absolutely incredibly capable you are. Everybody needs support. Everybody needs a hand to hold, someone to pat them on the back, someone to be their partner in certain decisions. People need help. We need each other. It's not a hidden secret. It's just truth. We're not meant to do things completely and utterly by ourselves. We need support. So first, that's a big step to come to a coach and say, hey, I could really use some help. And I am a lot of people's best kept secret too. I love being behind the scenes. I am here to create impact and help you change your life for the better and to feel good about your life. So someone might come to me who's very much like, I would never normally do this. I'm not going to tell anybody. I just want to work with you and feel better and get better about things and make changes and I'm just going to keep you a secret. I don't care. I'm cool with that. I will happily be your text during an uncomfortable day saying, okay, I'm doing the thing we talked about. It's not great, but it's going better than I expected. And, thanks, whatever. That's fine. Nobody has to know about me. I am happy to be a secret. But a lot of times it's because it's hard to admit I'm having a hard time. I feel like I'm burning out. I feel like I'm doing too much. And I feel like I can't do it by myself. And that I can't do it by myself thing is so scary. People come to me and they really do know themselves and they're okay with admitting, I need some help here. I've not really tried coaching before or not this kind of coaching before. I think this is what I need right now. Like just owning. And that's one of the things I talk about all the time. Just own your feelings, own your needs and move on. Accept that this is what you need and allow it to be helpful for your life. Like why not? But I don't mind being someone's secret. So number one reason is I'm afraid of burnout. I need some support. It just feels like too much and I really need some balance. The second thing, which absolutely goes along with this, is needing help prioritizing themselves. Very often people who are doers and helpers of others, achieve for others, manage other people, always looking out for others. It's really difficult sometimes to focus on themselves. And you might have this fantastic routine and you do what you need to do for others to get the job done, to be successful, to help others be successful. And then you just keep going until you spend all the energy and, you might not feed yourself as well, or you might not take that time off. You might not build in breaks. You might not eat or eat enough or eat at all the healthy foods that you prefer. You might start to neglect yourself. And, really successful people get to these points all the time. Really successful people also build in really good, healthy habits for themselves and find that balance. And it's because they have support. I promise you, there is some way that they make sure they prioritize themselves. But if you haven't learned this or haven't accepted that this is something you're allowed to do, it's tricky. It can be very tough to admit, I need to prioritize myself, my health, my needs, my breaks, my calm, my quiet, my balance, my boundaries. That is not always easy to build in when you are busy and you are constant. And if you own a business, I know this, it can be constant. You might never put your phone down all day, but sometimes the self-care needs to be looked at and prioritized. So this, number one, fear of burnout and needing to be supported in that way. And number two, learning to prioritize self again, or possibly for the first time. Also, people come to me when they have to manage other people and it's not easy. And maybe they just want to do the work, and managing people was not part of the deal. I have a lot of owners, company owners, who come to me and say, look, I just want to do the work and oversee everything. Managing people is not my thing, but I know I need to do it or need to delegate. Like, what do I need to do? And so we'll help organize a plan that makes things feel better for them and also helps things continue to run smoothly. So often it's just an organizing of people, an organizing of jobs, and actually saying the words that need to be said, like, please do this for me. I'm going to go focus on this, and allow that to be okay. So a lot of times there's so much permission. I just need to give myself permission to do this thing so that I can operate smoothly. And sometimes it's hard for people who are high up, in a company or own the company, to admit that managing people is not what they want to do. And feel like they're supposed to and meant to, and like, that's part of the gig. I'm supposed to do that, and often I have to convince them, are there other people who could help you do that so you can focus on the things you need to focus on? It's okay to build something and then get help to continue growing it so you can continue doing the things that matter to you. And so a lot of times people come to me with this need for permission, and it's not me giving the permission, it's me helping them give it to themselves. Along with that comes difficult conversations. You'd be surprised how many high achievers don't love confrontation, don't love, is this you? Don't love having those difficult conversations. I mean, think about firing somebody. Think about dealing with conflict in the workplace. Think about, anywhere else in your life. If you've got a lot on your plate professionally, having a difficult conversation in your personal life might be very low on your list, not because it's low of importance, but because it's just so much stress. And it's hard on, the heart. The matters of the heart can be really hard on you. And when you have a lot on your plate, dealing with that family member that pisses you off, or talking about that death that happened last year, really emotional things, just having difficult conversations, whatever it's about, sometimes gets pushed aside. And often I will teach people how to have a difficult conversation. It's not easy. And sometimes we need to go back to the basics or have a simple step. And I think I do have an episode about how to have a difficult conversation, because it happens. And we stay quiet and we don't say things sometimes because it just seems too scary to step up and say the things that we don't want to say, even though they might need to be said. So I do have many sessions that have to do with dealing with difficult people and difficult conversations. And even the most confident people shy away from these things. All right. And also, along with those confident people, imposter syndrome. You've heard this term. Is this you? Have you felt this way before? I work with very highly trained, highly educated people who still doubt themselves. And so this is where the mindset work comes in. And again, it's not me convincing them to believe me that they're qualified, that they're smart, that they're capable, that they shouldn't feel the way they're feeling. No, I help them honor their feelings and explore their feelings, and then find a different way to view those feelings and to do something about them. Now, I wish it was that easy, and that is the goal, to go from one thought that's negative and unhelpful to another thought that is helpful and positive and true. And oftentimes this imposter syndrome is a bunch of lies that their anxiety and their need to please is dosing to them on a consistent basis. So we explore that. Some people are ready to quit or retire. And especially if you've been in a high status role or have been doing the same job for a long time, that can be not only scary, but immediately makes you feel, oh my gosh, what are people going to think? I've had lots of people in high status jobs or not want to quit, and still it's like, whoa, what are you doing, from other people? And that's the fear, right? It's a fear of what other people will think. It's the fear of trying something different or trying something new. And whether you're ready to cash in and retire and enjoy the rest of your life, or you've been doing the same job for 20 years and you think, I don't like this anymore, I need to do something different, that is so scary. And no, you don't need to do those things by yourself, because it's big and it's big change, and it's hard not to think about other people. So we work through that. A big one, and this probably plays a role in all the things I've said so far, is the need to be reminded that you're enough. That this people pleasing and worried about letting others down, that immense pressure to level up and keep going, to impress and please others, to feel enough. Ooh, we get after that. Because I've done this episode before. You're enough no matter what. It doesn't matter how much you achieve. It doesn't matter how much you do for others. You are enough every day that you wake up. So that is something that even the most confident, high-achieving people struggle with. And it comes up in sessions. Let's talk about this not enoughness you're feeling. Let's talk about, no matter how much you do, you're a valuable, important person and your needs matter. This is a huge part of my work. A lot of times people, especially with the burnout, just need to be reminded that slowing down doesn't mean you are less. It just means you are making a choice to slow down, even for just a little bit, in order to rebuild your energy and connect better with yourself to have a better life. Slowing down doesn't mean you're weak or less. And that is another mindset practice that I work on with my clients. And like I said, number one top reason people come to me is that they'd like to make a change. And typically it's a massive change, or it feels massive. And doing it by yourself is not an option. And this is what I do. I help people move through change, whether it's a self-care mindset change, which always goes along with the real big actionable changes, which is moving through a change, going through that transition, accepting that it's going to happen. This is big stuff. I work with people with career changes, relationship changes, coming to terms with things that didn't go their way. It's usually big stuff that really kind of sideswipes you, and it's unexpected. And even if you choose a change, these are also things I've talked about on the podcast before. Even if you choose a change, it can feel massive and overwhelming, and you don't have to do it alone. I've helped people through divorce, loss, accepting a job promotion and being not just grateful, which they are, but also allowing themselves to deserve it. There's self-care and mindset help and practice needed in every single client. Everybody needs that when they're going through a change. So if you've related to any of these things, whether you're a high achiever, a leader, or just someone who feels like you're always trying so hard, that's why we're here. That's why you're listening, because you have needs and you want to feel like they're okay to have. They are. I promise. I've worked with all kinds of people. What a privilege. If you've heard anything on today's episode that resonates, if you feel like you're alone and need support, you don't have to be alone. You can have support. Everybody needs it. Now, go give yourself a hug. Your needs matter because you matter. Thanks for being here today, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Needy and Normal podcast. If you liked what you heard today, please share this with a friend, and don't forget to rate and review the show before you go. The Needy and Normal podcast is brought to you by ABL Life Coaching. Visit ablifecoaching.com to learn about coaching with a transition life coach. Today, I am now accepting new clients for the fall season. And don't forget to follow Needy and Normal Pod and ABL Life Coaching on Instagram.